Chakana Copper was a company that was formed, a private company formed about 18 months ago. We completed an RTO at the end of 2018 and started trading on the TSX in January, end of January. Our focus has been to focus on project acquisitions that are really in the early discovery stage, things that have data to work with, a de-risk project, but also something that has unrecognized upside. And that's really the critical value generator in a project like the Soledad project that I'll tell you about. Seeing something that someone else didn't see and coming in with a strategy to try to realize that value. We've been very successful in our financings. We've raised $22 million since the start, and we're currently cashed up with about $14 million in the bank and aggressively drilling this project with the intentions of putting a first resource out in March, April of 2019. The company has a very strong technical background at the highest level. Doug Kerwin's our chairman, the gentleman on the left, 40 years experience, very exceptional proven discovery track record. The gentleman on the right is John Black, a very successful discoverer as well, also a very successful CEO. And so we've got a very strong technical team, and then that transcends down to the local Peru team. We've got 8 geologists on the ground. Very tight team, very focused on delivering on what we say we're going to do. The project is exceptionally well located. It's in the Ancash province of central Peru. It's just south of the Piorina mine. It's west of Antamina. Ancash is one of the premier mining provinces of Peru. It's a long-standing producing region, and because of that, the infrastructure is really exceptional. There's great road networks. There's power from the national grid. Water is plentiful, and mining is happening. The communities that are around the mines are really where the people live to work in the mines, and we see that same activity in the district that we're in. The view here is looking north. It's showing the breccia pipe field that we're focusing on. This was a project that had been explored by 2 very competent explorers previously, but they were exploring for a different deposit model. They were looking at a porphyry that was believed to be the source of these very high grade and numerous tourmaline breccia pipes that crop out at surface. They did some excellent work, good drilling. They had some really phenomenal intercepts, like 174 meters of plus 2% copper equivalent from surface in the breccia pipes, but their target being a porphyry and trying to go beneath these breccia pipes never produced the results that they wanted to see, and there were other complications. Mariana was one of the companies. They made the discovery in Turkey and became solely focused on that and walked away from everything in Peru. So it was fortuitous timing for us. I had been to this site in 2012 in my previous job as exploration manager for the Americas for MMG, so I had some inside knowledge about the opportunity, and when it presented itself to bring this asset into Chakana, we jumped on it. The circles there show all the surface exposed tourmaline breccia pipes. They're very obvious features. The breccia textures are well displayed in outcrop, and you sample these breccias and you get multi-gram gold. It's a real obvious. In fact, we haven't seen barren breccia pipes on the project. The stars represent what we see adjacent to the breccia pipes that we've drilled or above breccia pipes that we've drilled, and they're sheeted quartz sericite tourmaline alteration zones within the host andesite. We think that these are the surface expression of blind pipes. None of those have been drilled. In fact, only 3 of the breccia pipes shown in circles there have ever had any drilling on them. Our focus has been on breccia pipe 1 and breccia pipe 5. We've done a lot of really detailed drilling for the reasons I'll describe in subsequent slide. Also note the elevation. We go from about 3,950 meters at the bottom of the valley up to 4,600 meters at the top. So about 500 meters of relief between the lowest pipe and the highest pipe, which is sits well for mining, being able to come in underneath these pipes and get access to them that way. There's an operating mine just on the right. It's the Lincuna operation. There's 3 other mines in the district and a processing plant, so it's in an active mining region. A little bit on tourmaline breccia pipes. They're actually quite common. They are very common in porphyry districts. Sometimes they're barren. They're not always mineralized, and oftentimes when they are mineralized, they're copper moly systems, not copper gold system. The gold at Soledad seems to be somewhat more unique, especially the high-grade nature of it. But some of the other aspects of tourmaline breccia pipes are they're often vertically extensive. In Chile, they're documented over a 2-kilometer vertical extent. They occur in clusters, so you usually get multiple pipes. Sometimes some of the districts have over 100 pipes that have been documented. They tend to get larger at depth because these are not breccias that erupt at surface. These things they erupt off of an intrusion at depth. They bore a vertical column of breccia as far as they can go, as far as they have the energy to do so, and then they're frozen in the lithic column. They don't vent at surface, and therefore you get different types of textures. And one of the benefits of that is you get lots of open space filling. That open space filling becomes the space within which the hydrothermal fluid invades the breccia and precipitates the sulfides, generating some fairly substantial grades. Oftentimes the breccia pipes also have very high grades on the margins of the pipe, and I'll show you some examples of that. This is where we're at right now on breccia pipe 1. The map on the left shows the view back in September, right after we had released our first 5 drill holes. You can see some notable intercepts there, 209 meters of 3.01% copper equivalent. About half that is copper, over 1%, and gold, usually in the 2 to 3 gram range. On the right is the current view today. Not only have we been able to chase the breccia down 350, 390 meters, we've also discovered a blind pipe on the north side. It's a very significant discovery. We think it's going to double the tonnage potential of breccia pipe 1, and it's coming in with the same type of grades that I just mentioned. If you go down and take level plans, another good way of looking at this, you see at about 60 meters depth, we've got a pipe that's primary pipe that's about 50 meters in diameter. As you go down another 100 meters, it blows out to a much larger size. You can see on the right bottom level plan, and then we're just starting to see the top part of the blind north zone there. The shingle breccias I mentioned, or the breccia textures I mentioned, are well demonstrated on this slide. The shingle breccia on the left, that's from a margin zone. I mentioned sometimes we get really spectacular grades on the margins. That 6 meters of core there runs 3.6% copper and just under 14 grams gold. But most importantly, it's part of a 74-meter interval that's continuously mineralized along its entire extent, averaging 3 grams gold and 1% copper. On the right, just what the mineralization looks like, beautiful sulfide matrix mineralization. The top 2 pictures are from Soledad. The bottom picture is from Los Zapatos. Los Zapatos would be considered the granddaddy of all tourmaline breccia pipes, 1.2 billion tons of 1.46% copper. Some polished core, different styles of mineralization. Mostly we get what's shown in the top, the matrix sulfides filling up those void spaces that I mentioned. Note the flat tabular class, and then complete class replacement in the lower part of the pipe. That's a new style of mineralization. Mineralogically, we're dealing with chalcopyrite. There's no enargite in these pipes. This is not a high sulfidation system. We get free gold. We actually think we'll be able to recover a gold product right at site and then produce a copper con. Mining is fairly straightforward. The spacing between the pipes is roughly 200 meters. A single ramp would access multiple pipes. Long hole stoping is a very efficient, low cost. It's selective bulk mining technique. We're working with a gentleman named Tom Kelly, mining engineer out of Lima, that is helping us put together conceptual ideas. So just summary, we're cashed up, we're drilling hard. We'll add a second drill rig here pretty soon. We anticipate a first resource in March of next year, and we expect to continue drilling these high grades. There's 9 pipes where we think the upside potential is quite considerable. Our initial target's in the 10 to 12 million ton range, but with the other pipes, we think we can get much higher than that. Thank you.